Welcome to Troubleshooting the ICP MS. This is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger. I'm a member of Team Tesla here. Nikola Tesla, the scientist, not Tesla, the car company. Anyway, I run cwclabs.com, food analytical testing, and I'm an expert in ICP MS, instrumentation, and troubleshooting. And so I've been putting some videos out there to help you troubleshoot problems that you might have with the ICP. I run an Agilent 7700X, which is an outstanding instrument. It's truly incredible. And the sensitivity range is 9 orders of magnitude, as you may know. If you're running one of these, learning how to troubleshoot problems is very, very tricky. So I'm going to talk to you today about instrument drift and a sample introduction system, as well as instrument warm-up time. You need to understand the drift characteristics of your particular instrument and your environment, and plus the kind of matrix that you're putting into the sample injection system. So, I did an experiment one day where I took mercury at, let's say, I think 100 parts per billion or something in a solution. And I turned the instrument on and I just watched in user tune mode, I watched the mercury drift for about an hour. I wasn't like glued to the screen for an hour. I was checking back every few minutes, like zombied out. Mercury will drift quite a lot, and perhaps more than you think. Depending on the conditions, you can actually find that a cold instrument will show as much as 30% higher counts per second of mercury than an instrument that is completely warmed up. And when I say warmed up, what do I mean? Most people think that an instrument warm-up requires only 20 minutes. And for most elements in most situations, that's true. But I have found cases where it takes as much as 1 hour for that to stabilize. Now, I don't know why that is. Maybe it's something to do with the temperature here, or the humidity, or something about my sample tubing condition or the sample cone, who knows. But I have seen mercury take 1 hour of warm-up just to stabilize. And I've seen a 30% range difference in those counts per second. That's a huge deal. Now, so if you were to not allow that warm-up to happen, then if you start your run, then your mercury standards, your calibration standards at first would look all good because you're running them sequentially in the same time frame. But then later on in your run, when you're looking at, let's say, mercury in food samples, all those mercury numbers could be 30% low because your instrument drifted during that time, during the run. Your mercury could just be falling off minute by minute by minute as you're going through the run. Not a good situation. And you'll also notice, of course, your mid-range calibration check starting to fall off during the run. And that's called instrument drift. And everybody has problems with instrument drift. But here's another way that I've eliminated virtually all the instrument drift that I used to experience. And for me, that was using this system. It's called the Niagara Plus sample. Here it is. Sample introduction system by Glass Expansion. And it's a two-part system. It has a rotary valve up here at top, and then it has a syringe pump. Now this interfaces with your system. It continues to use your existing peristaltic pump here, and it continues to use your existing nebulizer, of course, and your spray chamber and all that. It simply interfaces into it. It plugs right into your nebulizer. What this system does is very smart. It is injecting a sample through the nebulizer at the same time that it's loading up the rinse. And then as that rinse is going through your system, it moves the probe in your auto sampler to take up the next unknown sample. So it's doubling up by using a sample loop, which is right here. I don't know if you probably can't see that. This happens to be a 0.5 milliliter sample loop. You can get different sample loop sizes, 0.25, 0.75, 1 mil, whatever you need. I'm using 0.5, works great. Because my scan time, my total scan time is like, I don't know, 25 seconds or something per sample. Anyway, bottom line is, this system, the Niagara system, when added to the Agilent 7700X, it reduces argon usage by half. It reduces sample cycle time by half. What used to take me 3 minutes per sample now takes me 90 seconds. More importantly, or just as importantly, it also reduces the time that the sample spends on your sample cone, because this rotary valve up here cycles between inject mode versus rinse mode. When it's in rinse mode, it is not injecting sample onto your nebulizer, plasma, torch, the sample cone, the skimmer cone, all that. You are, in effect, greatly extending the life of your sample cone and your skimmer cone and all the glass in the system. And this is especially important if you're testing things like seawater, where you can salt up your sample cone very, very quickly. You've probably seen that. Or fertilizers, for that matter. I've done some of that, and oh my God, look at the sample cone. You're reducing all the wear and tear on your consumables at the same time that you're reducing argon usage by half, and effectively you're reducing the instrument usage by almost half as well. So you're getting just as good a data. In fact, you're getting better data, because I've noticed that system has eliminated drift for reasons that I don't fully understand. Probably having something to do with keeping the tubing clean, keeping the transfer tube clean, and so on and so forth. But it has created great stability and reproducibility for very, very long ICP runs. If you have a big batch, like 75 samples, 100 samples, you want to keep that stability and that reproducibility of your calibration checks all the way through that run, right? You don't want things drifting up or down towards the end. This system seems to really, really lock that in, and it helps it stay stable through the entire run. And if you, wow, there's thunder out there. Anyway, if you combine that with the warm-up time of the instrument and having good pipetting technique for your external standards that you put on your auto sampler, then you're going to have a very clean run. Even if it's a very long duration run, you're going to be in great shape. The big thing to keep in mind on this instrument is don't take shortcuts. Don't think, oh yeah, I can use that peri-pump tubing for a year. No, you can't. You need to swap it out. It's gonna interrupt the run. It's gonna cause a problem. Don't think, oh, I don't need to make fresh standards every day. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. I make them fresh every single day. I do not use standards that have been left out overnight. Even if they're capped, I don't use them. Don't think, oh, I only need 12 minutes warm-up time. No, you need more. You need at least 20 minutes. And these days, I've been running it an hour before I even start to run samples. An hour, That's what I do. But don't take shortcuts with this machine. If you take shortcuts, you're gonna get some backlash from it. This instrument is amazing. This instrument does what it's supposed to do, but it is still based on the laws of physics. There's thermal expansion, for example, that happens during the warm-up cycle. The electronics will change their temperature, and perhaps the voltages that will affect your run. You need things to stabilize. Otherwise, you're not going to get reliable, reproducible data through your entire run. So trust in the instrument, but understand that you have to give it time to stabilize, and treat it with respect by minimizing your sample introduction burden on the system. Remember that everything that you're introducing in the system is not only going onto your cones, but it's also going through the octopole, and it's going through the detector, all that. The vacuum chamber of this whole unit, you're going to extend the life of all of that, including the PMT, if you reduce the concentration of material that you're putting on that system. It's going to last longer. It's going to be happier. You're going to reduce consumables, all of that. So those are my tips for today. I hope that's been useful. My name's Mike Adams. I'm known as the Health Ranger. And let's see, where can you find more information? Well, cwclabs.com, obviously. You can check out my website at healthranger.com if you want to learn more about me. And I'll be bringing you these helpful video tips from time to time as I just share some troubleshooting types of tips. There's a lot of thunder. I don't know if that came through the microphone. I better get out of here before lightning strikes this place. All right, thanks. Take care. Hey, I've got a lot of amazing videos coming this year. Click subscribe now to stay informed when I release them.